Want to do for your primary skills, this is what I always do, okay? Mysticism, you can't beat the game without proper levitation, so get that mysticism. Pick your weapon up front. What weapon are you going to use? You can't always use magic. What weapon are you going to use? Is it going to be short sword? That way you can keep on with that ebony dagger that you can get at the very beginning, which I'll talk about again in a second. Or is it going to be an axe? I chose the axe. I like one-handed axe. That way, you know, you get a lot of damage with. You can also use a shield, and then also destruction. Get that destruction. That shock spell that you're gonna get is gonna be super sick for early game. So, Michael, how to progress is you get out of the starting. You get out of the starting area, right? Which is Privateer's Hold. I'll save, and we can do one right now if you want. We can do a starting play right now if you guys want, if you guys are down. I can kind of show you how we do things. So as promised, we're going to start off a new character. I recommend picking, like, honestly, they don't matter that much. It's not like when you pick your high elf, it's not going to give you extra magicka like all the other games, you know, like when that starts in Morrowind and everything. We're going Khajiit because that's what we do. No, that's not Khajiit. Where are we going? Elsewhere. Here we go. We're going to be a Khajiit. We're going to be a dude. I don't know. I just picked it. We do custom class every time. We'll answer the questions here in a sec. But that second question answering is going to give you that ebony dagger up front. So for primary skills, here's what we're going to do. This is going to set you up for early. Yeah, true. It's going to set you up for early and late game success here. We're going to pick mysticism. Why? Because you can't beat the game apparently without decent levitation. So we're going to do mysticism. Second off, we're going to pick our favorite. Weapon here. So I think I want to go long blade on this one. We're going long blade. If you really want to get an early game head start, you can choose short blade, but in the end, short blade is not going to have that great damage for you. And then we're also going to take destruction, because that's going to give you your shock spell. And then, so what I like to do for my secondary is medical. So medical, you are going to be able to passively regenerate your health while you sleep at a better increment. All right, so for this one, we're going to go, I think, mercantile. And then just stay away from the languages. So this is a super cool thing about this game is the languages. However, if you're trying to be practical and you're trying to get out, you're trying to experience the game and like fight things and stuff like that, don't get any of the languages. However, the languages are cool because if you can speak Giantish and you can talk to a giant, and that means you're passive with them. So you go into a cave and there's a giant there. Normally they're hostile. They'll mollywop you right over the dome piece. But if you speak their language, they will be passive to you. So you can actually walk right past them, grab the loot, leave. Super cool thing for a super old game like this. All right, we're getting resto for that last one. And then the minor skills, we're going crit strike. We're going to do dodging. We're going to do the talking ones. So streetwise is for talking to commoners. And then etiquette is for talking to the royalty. And then we'll just kind of maybe put like short blade. That way we can use our ebony dagger real easy. And then maybe something good. Stealth, I guess. All right, so this is what your initial build is going to look like, right? So up here, this is what that's going to look like. These are your skills, right? You can adjust all this if you want, but I try to kind of leave it there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to edit my disadvantages and my advantages. So for disadvantages, for every disadvantage, it kind of helps you curve the effects of an advantage, essentially. So for a disadvantage, easy ones to get are, let's see here, forbidden materials, right? So this means you can't wear this. Or no, you can't collect it. So we're going to go Orcish, because you find almost no Orcish armor at all. Then we're going to go forbidden armor type, and we're going to go leather. So these make the game, when you add disadvantages to the game, it makes the game easier, right? And then when you add advantages, it makes the game harder. So like if you add advantages, the difficulty goes up. If you add disadvantages, the difficulty goes down. So we add a couple of disadvantages. We're going to forbid the leather armor type, so we can't wear that because it sucks. Orcish material, we'll forbid that. We can't even pick it up because you find almost none of that in the entire game. So what else can we forbid here? I'm not a big hand-to-hand guy because hand-to-hand is good. Like it does a bunch of damage, but you can never get a one-shot kill with hand-to-hand. So I will always ban hand-to-hand. All right, so now that we've got our disadvantages taken care of, we will exit that. And we will do our advantages here. So what we're going to want is increase magery 3x int spell points. So this means however much spell points you have, you're going to get 3 times the amount of intellect for that, which is going to increase your magicka as well as the damage that you do with your spells. What else are we going to take here? We're going to take immunity to both poison and and paralysis. So we've got our 3 disadvantages, we've got our 3 advantages. They're going to make the game a little bit more difficult, but we're all big boys here. We can handle that a little bit. It's not going to be crazy. And so we will exit that and we will move on here. Reputations, just leave those the same, whatever. Let's name the class. What are we going to name it? TikTok chat class. And then we will exit here. And then we will choose our path by answering the questions, right? So here we go with the questions. This is going to help you a lot during your early game playthrough. So after the School of Restoration, we're going to do destruction. That's going to give us extra destruction. What motivates us? Riches. None of this really matters too much. In between formal studying, I spent my time sparring. 100 gold pieces. So I'll start out with 100 gold pieces. And then the Emperor gave you guys, this is the important one here. This is the important one, guys. Ebony Dagger. Pick Ebony Dagger. You will get an Ebony Dagger to start out with, which will carry you through the starting dungeon, as well as you can sell it for a decent amount of gold once you exit. So we're going to start out with that Ebony Dagger. We received additional training in destruction. We were Scrapper. That way we get extra bonus points to fighting. We're friendlier than most with, I don't know, let's say, we'll go Centaurs. Personal hatred for Power Mad Robber Barons. I like that. We are intimate friends with a warrior. We don't worship God here. You have the most trouble. You can pick avoiding diseases or resisting poisons because you're going to be immune to these already. This and that. We're going to pick avoiding diseases. And And so we're going to name ourselves, what should we name ourselves? Probably ourselves. And then, so the Khajiit look like this in this game. They look like people. I'm not sure why. We're going to go with the rat tail, obviously. And then, so this is kind of your final thing here. You get 10 extra points. We're going to put a bunch of that into strength, get that next threshold, get that next threshold here. I think they're at the 5 mark, the thresholds. So we'll do agility, and then we'll have enough here, and we'll just pump the rest probably into intellect. That way we get those extra spell points. We'll save our roll. We'll click OK. And so now we get 6 extra points to kind of put in. Looks like they didn't really hook us up with that long blade too much, so we'll get that one. For this one, we'll go 6 into medical. You click average for reflexes, and then we will click OK here. We just went through the whole starting build of a character. I taught everybody how to build a character and make it out of that starting dungeon. So we're going to start that dungeon right now. This is the first thing that you see once you come out of that intro. Once you come out of that kind of intro cutscene. All right, so we're going to get into it. You wake and look around the room. Some hours ago, you were in a boat en route to Daggerfall when a storm of supernatural strength boiled over the Iliac Bay like a malefic creature. Your boat was destroyed, but you managed to swim through the churning water to a promontory rock. There you found a cage and escaped the fury of the storm. You had only just lit a small fire when a mudslide sealed you in. Your fear of being buried alive calmed when you saw the corridor leading out of the cavern. Perhaps there is a way out of the cave. After all, once free of the cave, you can begin the Emperor's quest. So, what does this mean? This means this is the only game where you don't start out as a prisoner, right? So, we were just on a ship. We had a big storm. The storm capsized the ship. We had to find shelter in a cave. The cave, there was a mudslide, so the cave actually closed off and we had to find a way out. So we are beginning it right now.